The coming of Islam.
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 Islam was first brought to the Philippines by Arab Muslim traders in the late 13th and early 14th centuries. These merchants came from present-day Malaysia and Indonesia to the Sulu Island and Mindanao in the Philippines.
At that time, the inhabitants lived in autonomous, small communities spread around the many thousand islands.
The indigenous population quickly embraced Islam, building the Philippines' first mosque in the town of Simunul in the 1400s. The Muslim settlers didn't just bring their architecture, but also brought their cultures, values, and systems.
50 years later, Islamic influence rapidly ascended northward, reaching as far as Manila on the island of Luzon. When the Spanish first arrived in the mid-50s, they were dismayed to find such strong Muslim presence. They had, after all, only recently expelled the Moors from Spain after nearly 800 years of conflict.
The Spanish nicknamed the Muslim inhabitants as the Moros, a corruption of the word Moors.
The Spanish quickly converted much of the Philippines to Christianity using the sword quite plebeianry. Spain was struggling to push south as the Moros fiercely resisted the Spanish attempts on dominance over Sulu and Mindanao.
It was not until the mid-1800s that advancing military technology began to tip the scales in favor of Spain. However, locals' resistance to this matter still crop up on occasion.
John Le de Pellan says, were it not for the Spanish colonization of the Philippines for 333 years, the country would have been a Muslim state like its Southeast Asian neighbors. The United States took control of the Philippines after the Spanish-American War in 1898. The Moros viewed the new colonialists as no less objectionable than the Spanish.
They fiercely resist attempts to westernize Mindanao in particular. The US military even had to invent a new, more powerful handgun, the Colt M1911, in order to stop the Moro insurgents.
The latest wave of Muslim separatism in the nation's south began in 1970s. Since the country became independent, the Filipino government has encouraged the non-Muslim to move to Mindanao.
The Muslims view the policy as designed to de-Islamize the region and believe that Christians treat them as second-class citizens.